Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Swallowed Star 2, Land of Origin. Volume 12, Lord Luo Feng. Chapter 434, over 200,000 epics. 9th of Volume 12. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. Previously, while exploring the land of waves with Lord Momen, Luo Feng perceived the infinite Xuanhuan space from the perspective of waves. Now, from the perspective of the abyss of destruction, his understanding of the space had evolved again. The abyss of destruction, the eternal land, and the hellfire prison wall serve as the three pillars poles of the infinite Xuanhuan space. Without any one of them, the space would collapse. The abyss of destruction and the hellfire prison wall aren't in opposition at all. Instead, they work in perfect harmony. Luo Feng sensed this. The hellfire prison wall radiates boundless energy throughout the infinite Xuanhuan space, nurturing countless living beings and giving birth to various resources. The eternal land acts like a divine needle stabilizing the sea, maintaining the stability of the entire infinite Xuanhuan space. The abyss of destruction devours everything harmful to the infinite Xuanhuan space, functioning like a devourer, devouring impurities or various negative spiritual energies, operating like a mechanism of natural clearance. Together, these three pillars poles ensures the infinite Xuanhuan space can endure eternally. I can sense that the abyss of destruction's primary duty, beyond devouring the most intense negative spiritual energy, is destruction itself. Luo Feng vaguely sensed that the abyss of destruction had been accumulating power all along. When the burden of living beings threatens the stability of the infinite Xuanhuan space, the abyss of destruction may unleash its accumulated power from countless ages, triggering a cataclysm that would engulf the entire infinite Xuanhuan space. At that time, 99% of all Xuanhuan lifeforms would likely perish, and even most of the Xuanhuan ancestors, those who haven't reached the immortal level, would probably be wiped out. Even if the origin worlds are resilient, most of them would likely be annihilated. Luo Feng sensed this vaguely. It was a form of self-purification for the infinite Xuanhuan space. Of course, this would only occur when the burden became extreme. Since the creation of the infinite Xuanhuan space, no such destructive eruption had ever occurred. Once a master of the abyss of destruction emerges, they can perform a more refined purification of the infinite Xuanhuan space. Luo Feng understood. The abyss of destruction's accumulated power, when released in a single cataclysmic event, would be too terrifying, indiscriminate and wanton in its destruction. Once possessed by a master, the wielder could only borrow a portion of the abyss of destruction's power when far from it, resulting in significantly reduced destructive power. To prevent indiscriminate destruction, the wielder naturally cleanses the infinite Xuanhuan space periodically. A single, massive eruption of the abyss of destruction's accumulated power would severely weaken its fundamental essence. Therefore, having a wielder proactively clean it benefits both the abyss of destruction and the infinite Xuanhuan space greatly. Because the mastery of the abyss of destruction is too difficult, there are multiple candidates, and I am one of them. Luo Feng realized that the abyss of destruction's power is divided into 7 parts, allowing for a maximum of 7 candidates. Candidates can also periodically cleanse the infinite Xuanhuan space. As for those who are weaker, the abyss of destruction simply disregards them. Such power is unworthy of periodically cleansing the infinite Xuanhuan space. Even as a candidate, I still face challenges. He controls the 34th level of the Chaos Destruction realm, but other Xuanhuan ancestors and lords, if powerful enough, can descend level by level. If they defeat him and the realm envoy together on the 34th level, they can seize control of that level and claim the right to master the Chaos Destruction realm. The first to seize control has the advantage. Defeating both me and the realm envoy. Luo Feng chuckled. Only after obtaining the weapon could Luo Feng overcome the realm envoy's interference. Only by mastering the Chaos Destruction realm could he truly surpass the realm envoy. For those who come after, they would face not just the realm envoy, but also Luo Feng, now wielding the power of the Chaos Destruction realm, a combined force that made their task exponentially more difficult. It's a pity I can't expel hostile Xuanhuan ancestors from the Chaos Destruction realm, Luo Feng thought. Though he had finally mastered the Chaos Destruction realm, his authority was limited to imprinting his mark on the phantom origin of the 34th level, a mere fragment of the abyss of destruction's origin core. His power was granted by the abyss itself. Only by refining the abyss's core could he truly become its master. Among those whose strengths are only second to mine, the strongest are in the 26th and 27th levels of the abyss of destruction. They're still far behind me. Luo Feng felt little pressure. After having uncovered the secrets of the abyss of destruction, Luo Feng resolved that even if he obtained more destruction fruits in the future, he would never give one to Xiaozhou. Xiaozhou had evolved to this level of power after obtaining 2 destruction fruits. What if I gave her one, causing a qualitative leap in her life core's evolution? Cultivating an opponent myself. That's something I can't do. Moreover, can Xiaozhou's promise be trusted? If she breaks it, what can I even do? The Hunyuan ancestors have reneged on their promises and turned against each other more than once. Once, Yuan and Shazhou, along with the Bingfeng Hunyuan ancestor, were so close. Later, didn't the Ice Peak faction take advantage of the war between the innate Hunyuan lifeform faction and the practitioner faction to seize over 100 world clusters from the practitioner faction? When Wugu Hunyuan ancestor and the three sovereigns of the Wind Thunder and Sea plundered and slaughtered, didn't the Bingfeng Hunyuan ancestor tacitly approve? Even reclaiming their territory required the 8 lords to threaten war before the Bingfeng Hunyuan ancestor finally returned it. All promises and friendships can become a joke in the face of time and factional interests. Lean on a mountain and it may crumble, lean on a person and they may flee. The most reliable thing is still one's own strength. Luo Feng murmured to himself. In the deepest level of the abyss of destruction, on the land formed from condensed endless resentment and hatred, and cultivation cave appeared. Within it, a clone of Luo Feng resided long-term, constantly sensing the power fluctuations of the abyss of destruction. The future holds countless possibilities, giving rise to innumerable timelines. These timelines, some collapse while others persist indefinitely. Lord Xingmeng possesses numerous clones that traverse these timelines, observing various potential futures. When a future timeline suddenly collapses, it signifies that this particular possibility has been completely extinguished. What's happening? This. While observing the future, Lord Xingmeng's clones suddenly discover something startling. Why can't I find any trace of Luo Feng in any future timeline? Lord Xingmeng was shocked. In all previous timelines, Lord Luo Feng had been a major influence, and his presence should have been easily detected. Before this, only the hermit's true body remained hidden from my scrutiny. Now, Luo Feng is also concealed, Lord Xingmeng thought, there must be a special force masking his presence. The hermit's true body remains completely hidden. And now, Luo Feng is also concealed. Luo Feng has been lingering at the deepest levels of the abyss of destruction recently. Could he have gained mastery of some power within it? Lord Xingmeng speculated. As the highest tier mysterious land, even a slight disturbance from the abyss of destruction's power could interfere with Lord Xingmeng's observations. Regardless of the reason, he must have grown stronger, Lord Xingmeng concluded with a smile. Before long, Luo Feng left intelligence at the land of origin regarding the abyss of destruction. Lord Yuan, Lord Jin, Lord Wu Lan, Lord Mingwang, Lord Negu, Lord Xingmeng, and Lord Momen all saw this intelligence. To master the abyss of destruction, one must pass the sevenfold trial, making it extraordinarily difficult. The abyss of destruction is divided into 7 portions of power. The surface true world, the chaos destruction realm, contains 1 portion of power, which I now control. The inner spiritual world, the sea of destruction, contains 2 portions of power. The core, the mountain of destruction, contains 3 portions of power. Passing the 6th trial also grants 1 portion of power. The remaining 6 portions are currently unclaimed, and their thresholds are unknown. Luo Feng shared his exploration findings with the other lords. If there are other candidates, he hoped it would be another lord. This intelligence also shook the 7 lords. The 8 lords thus gathered at the land of origin. Mastering the surface chaos destruction realm is relatively easiest, but it still requires slaughtering through 34 levels of the chaos destruction realm, Lord Jin said, shaking his head lightly. I've only occupied the 13th level. Clearly, the abyss of destruction wouldn't even acknowledge a single Hunyuan level Dao. Although I've grasped 2 Hunyuan level Daos, Life and Death Dao and Blade Dao, mastering the abyss of destruction remains an impossibly distant goal, Luo Feng said with a smile. Even being able to wield a fragment of its power is a fortunate stroke of luck. He still held the advantage of being a pioneer. Even if later practitioners matched his strength, gaining even a fraction of the abyss's power would prove exceedingly difficult. It's, after all, the highest level mysterious land, Lord Xingmeng remarked. After mastering the chaos destruction realm, Luo Feng's strength has surged dramatically. I think our previous plan to expand our territory was too conservative, Lord Negu said with a grin. Let's wait for Yuan to break through first, Lord Mingwang said, we can discuss it again then. Luo Feng nodded in agreement. Yuan's breakthrough would significantly enhance the practitioner faction's overall strength. If his understanding of the Hunyuan rule circulation path underwent another qualitative leap, he could harmonize the 8 lords' power even more perfectly. Their collective combat capabilities would surge by a significant margin. At that point, their plans would advance more smoothly. We just need Brother Yuan to break through, Luo Feng said with a smile. Almost there, Yuan chuckled. In the blink of an eye, over 200,000 epochs had passed, yet Yuan remained in secluded cultivation. For Yuan, 200,000 epochs was a fleeting span of time. For Luo Feng, it had taken less than 20,000 epochs to ascend from eternal true God to become the foremost powerhouse of the infinite Hunyuan space. In Luo Feng's homeworld origin world, The origin continent had grown vast, now encompassing 360,000 chaos states of varying sizes. A true god's lifespan typically lasted only 30,000 epochs. Over 200,000 epochs was enough time for countless lives to flourish across the origin continent. Even once barren lands now boasted thriving cities. Within one of these chaos states, the Gen Con chaos state, Marquis Gen Con, its ruler, was enjoying a sumptuous meal at a restaurant in the main city, attended to by attentive staff throughout the establishment. I never imagined that simply following the Duandong River lineage's traditions to pass down my inheritance would alter the fate of all 192 generations of Duandong River. Marquis Zhenkin still felt incredibly fortunate. Including himself, all 192 generations of Duandong River and their beloved relatives had been revived. The Duandong River lineage had always been a single line of succession, yet now all past generations of Duandong River coexisted in the same era. Who could have predicted that the 193rd Duandong River would be the great Lord Luo Feng? And it was my inheritance I left for him. Marquis Gen Con marveled at his extraordinary luck. Among the resurrected Duandong River from past generations, only the third generation ancestor and the 192nd incarnation, Duandong Gen K, received special favor from Luo Feng. Strictly speaking, the third ancestor's legacy had provided Luo Feng with significant assistance, and the 192nd Duandong River had bestowed upon him the grace of transmitting the Tao. The other Duandongs received only modest cultivation resources, leaving them to forge their own paths. Of course, even these modest resources left the past Duandongas deeply grateful. The 192nd Duandong was granted a chaos state as his fiefdom. Even on the origin continent today, even god kings must undergo multiple levels of review to have any hope of obtaining a fiefdom. Leveraging these abundant resources, he even advanced to the chaos realm. The third generation ancestor, God King Juyi, not only received a fiefdom but was also granted an cultivation cave in the galaxy capital, along with numerous precious resources. The Duandong River lineage ends with Lord Luo Feng, Gen Con thought, so there will be no 193rd Duandong. He was the 192nd, and Luo Feng was the 193 road. There would be no more. Although the other Duandongas were scattered across the origin continent, they remained connected through the same lineage. They communicated through messages and occasionally gathered, consciously maintaining their group. Over more than 200,000 epochs, 5 of the 192 Duandongas had even reached the God King realm, making the Duandong River lineage a formidable force on the origin continent. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel.